and get that rolling. All right. So this is an example of one of the bell ringer error analysis sheets I'm going to have. These are going to pop up now and then. And so put a date on this. And so there's going to be a problem. There is going to be work done by someone who did it, and I'll tell you right now, something is going to be wrong. It's never going to be 100% right. It may be something tiny. It may be multiple things. I don't know. So figure out the error and fix it, and then try to see if you can figure out why they would think that way and how they could get some help in the future if they needed it. So now, this is me. Everybody does this differently. On problems like this, I like to actually do it myself first. Then it's easier for me to see what they might have screwed up. So that's the way I'm going to go. But if you decide you want to try and fix them first, you can. So Salim bought a DVD recorder for $280. It's now on sale for $220. Find the percent of change in the price. Round to the nearest whole percent. Okay. So we bought this thing for $280, and I agree with Salim up there. I'm kind of peeking as I go. So there's a $60 difference in the price that's gone as we're doing this. Now, that's not what's being asked for. It wants the percent of change. So when we go to do the percent of change, it's always, oops, I almost got that backwards. It's always the difference divided by whatever the original price or cost, depending on what it is, we're doing. This is where I might start to see some differences, no pun intended. Originally, it sold for $280. Now it's on sale. So, $280, let's see here. 60 divided by 280. Round to the nearest whole percent. Well, we'll do that in a minute. So 0.214. And if I go to the nearest whole percent, that'd be 21. But the other thing, and I noticed it here too, is did the price go up or down? It went down. So the price decreased by 21%. So here's what I noticed, especially if I'm hopefully confident that I did it correctly. So I look and I'm like, okay, we did the difference the same, but we did that different, which got us different percentages. And Salim said it increased, and I said it decreased. So there can be multiple things that are going on. So identify and explain the error. Okay. I look, well, the first one, Salim used the new price instead of the old one. That'd be a problem. That's a different percentage than what we're working with. And then secondly, the price decreased not increased. I mean, that, you can't really explain that. It's just you messed up. It happens. I mean, the price went down. We can see that. And so, share a strategy. Sometimes that's going to be tricky, but it's like, and this is true. I mean, it's always. Always divide by the original price. That's never going to change. Little hint for Salim. And again, I mean, I can't come up with a strategy for the second one. The second one is, dude, it went down in price. That would be a decrease. I mean, I don't think that's really much of a strategy more than anything else. So when I pop these up a day or two after we've done a lesson and done some practice, that's kind of what I'm hoping we can get for, but I'm not going to be walking you through every single one like this. I'm just kind of letting you see how this is going to work. So we'll see as we go along how this goes, but yeah. Now I can mess up everybody that's out there now that's looking at this later. I will make this bigger, so hang on a second. Your eyes are not failing you. Oh, dear. That's fine. I'll make this bigger one more time because, well...
Go back to the bathroom.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Strategy for them, the second one, could you use that, like, look, see if, like, the micro value, like, they're
That's actually a good point. On that second one, if you were given some advice to maybe look at your second value to determine the increase or decrease, I think that would be excellent. Absolutely excellent. All right, so here at the start again, we're going to go, gentlemen, if we can't focus, you're going to have to split up. Discounts are what happens when we decrease the price of an item. We just saw that in the bell ringer. Okay, price goes down, it's a discount. Okay, that happens sometimes when businesses can't sell something, trying to get customers in the door. They'll do something to try and increase business that way. But if they mark up the price, I mean, it kind of is right there, up. They increase the price of an item from what they either paid for it from the manufacturer, or maybe they had to buy it themselves from somebody to sell it to a customer. So they're kind of like the middleman. That was stuff we discussed Friday, okay? Now, today, kind of adding to it, here comes more stuff with percentages. Man, they don't go away. Tax, boo, is money that is added to the buyer's cost, so another addition besides a markup, mandated by the government. Okay, the store does not have a choice unless they're going to eat it and just, pay it themselves, but that doesn't happen very often. So that can be more money out of pocket. And then one more time on top of it, tips is additional money given to workers who perform a service for you. Where do you mainly see this? Restaurants, where else? Okay. Sometimes, like if people were to go get your hair cut or something, I know my wife always does that and stuff. Me, I just need to learn to cut my own hair, so I don't have to think about that. But yeah, anytime that you're doing a service, you can do something to give a little something extra. So that's a couple of new things that we're going to be talking about a bit. So you can, when you go in to do this, there's ways of doing math. We're going to do an example of each one right with it, so we don't have to look far to see how this works. Discounts, again, we did Friday. Here, our solution tells us how much, remember letters, Hardy, letters, how much that price decreased. And then you're going to subtract that amount from the original price. So it's a two-step process. So for example, find the sale price on a $32.50 rug on sale for 40% off. Okay, job one. We need to figure out, and again, everybody has their own option on this. Like this particular one I did. I like to show you different ways of doing things. When we did it before, and I still think it's the easiest way, instead of making a big equation out of it in a proportion, I still think it's easier for us to take the price and multiply it times the percent as a decimal. Remember on this part, any percent divided by 100 will give you the decimal form of that percentage. That's basically what they did with their proportion rate here. And so I multiply, and I get 13 bucks. But that's not the end. Okay, that's not my sale price. That would be the discount. But then to actually figure out what the price is, we're going to take the original price minus the discount. And we'll label these. So this is the sale price, $19.50. That's what you would pay. The $13 would be the discount. So we can do the exact same math on it, but if we don't communicate what it is we're looking for, we can have confusion on things. You know, if somebody comes up and says, what's the discount on this? And you rattle off the 13 and they think it's the sale price, that can deal with unhappy customers, and we don't want to do that. So, mark up, same math with adding, okay? So we figure out how much the price increased and then add that amount to the sales price. So again, I got to look for keywords. Like in the first one, it said on sale. I knew I was getting a discount. I knew it was coming off the price. Find the new price on a $14.50 shirt marked up 35%. So, price of the shirt times the decimal form, again, 35% is just divided by 100. Moving the decimal place 2 places to the left. Let's see here, 1450 times. Ooh, now Hardy, what do I do here? Since we're talking about money, we're going to go to the nearest cent. So since that 5's there, we round up, so that'd be $5.08. That's the amount of our discount. But that's not what I'm paying. That's only how much was taken off. Added. It's not a discount, Hardy. Nobody telling me anything here. It's a $5.08 markup. I wish it was a discount if I'm the customer, but unfortunately it's not. At least we caught it before we got to the end. So add my $5.08. And the price on the tag, bless you, and that would be our actual final price. So same math, one word changes everything. Instead of getting the money off like we do the discount, it adds more on with markup. But again, discount for the consumer, markup for the store to be able to make some money. And not surprisingly, tax and tip are basically going to run the same math again, which is nice for us. So when you solve here, we're going to figure out how much tax is paid. And I'm not going to go to the proportion right away because I think it's more trouble than it's worth. And add that to the price, but I'm going to teach you a trick this time to make it take one step instead of two if you want to go that way. I'll show you both. You decide how you want to roll. Find the total price, including tax, of a $15.99 hat with 6% tax. Okay. So $15.99 times 6%. All right, let's see here. Nearest cent looks like 96 to me. But again, that's just the tax. That's not the total price. To get the total price, I have to add the 96 cents to the $15.99. Now, so you're like, okay, so basically it's the same as a markup. Tax is. I mean, yeah, the only thing that stinks is sometimes you can have a markup and then you have tax on top of it. We'll get to that. If you wanted to be able to do this in one step, here's the trick. Let me kind of do it down here. You do not have to do what I'm about to do, but if you're trying to save time, you can. If you want to get to the total price, that's the only thing you care about. Right off the bat, if you know your percent, you can multiply by 1.06. Now let me explain why that works. Okay, I get the same number for my total. The reason that works is by me putting that 1 there and then the percentage, it includes the price of the item with the tax instead of having to do it separately. That would work on any of these if you were trying to work, but especially on tax. It makes it easier if all you care about is the total. But you got to read questions carefully because sometime I may just ask for the tax and now you're going to be telling me the total instead. So just an option to throw out there. Last one. Okay. Tips. Tips are the same. So all three of these, markup, tip, and tax, all run the exact same math, just have different terms they use. So again, how much tip should you leave for a 20% tip on a $40 meal? What's the total including tip? Okay, I'm being asked for both this time, so I can't do the shortcut. Well, I could, but it would be a little bit trickier. So 40 times, again, my decimal is a percent. Just divide it by 100. Okay, so we'd be looking at an $8 tip. If the service is good, I have no issue with that. And then the total would be my meal price plus my tip. And that's what we'd be paying out. Okay? I'm not going to pound away at all those examples in the bottom because we've sort of started to see the repetition that comes with this already. And I don't want to like pound and pound and pound and have you like, oh my gosh, I never want to see one of these again. But it is starting to prepare us here somewhat soon where we could start getting into things where I'm going to be like, hey, there's a discount, but you got to add tax. Or there's a discount, but there's tax, and hey, they gave you good service. So maybe give them a tip here, and we're going to start doing multiple things. So, to get the original practice for now, we want to keep life simple. So here on the next page, on 11, we're going to be working on the front and back. On the front, it's just straight, here's the price, here's the markup, here's the price, here's the tax. Find it. On the back, it's word problems. I want you to have to dig in, pull out what you need, and keep working with it. So we're on 11 and 12 with this. I do have the key up front. I got one online as well. I've checked. This one's good. This one's good. And that way, if you need to check things out as you go, you can.